From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big morning of early mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording of the wonderful fourth stimulus recon passes the House of Representatives this week. And now we go off to the Senate, the senators, to add a lot of money to this incredible recon. What will be those Senate changes? I have the latest details in this morning's broadcast. Then we turn to the big money that is in this incredible recon. How much is it? Our average channel viewer will get about $15,000 across all these incredible programs in this recon. But no time to wait for fourth stimulus because third stimulus is paying money right out right now. I'll have the latest details of how to get that big money and potentially get some bacon with it. The big money in this incredible recording we're going to go over across the board as $45,000 of checks under third stimulus are available right now. Then we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. $10,000 could be forgiven. Then we turn to the big money of that COLA raise fifth stimulus coming in January. And then we turn to the exciting details that everyone has been talking about and wondering and questioning, the dramatics of frame wars. Frame wars heating up. And this is the provisions of that Medicare assistance in that incredible recon. And well, those details and more, because the toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and Bernie has done it. Well, no, he's not delivered the bacon. Until he delivers the bacon, he has not done it. Bernie, do the bacon amendment. We have those details and more as we go into a big, bold, beautiful morning's broadcast, early morning's broadcast. I'm excited you're here, and the details start right now. Here we go. Your fourth stimulus recon has passed and has passed the House of Representatives. Off to the Senate we go. This incredible recon will pay you a lot of money, upwards of $15,000 of checks in this incredible recon passed by the House. But that's just a starting point because the senators are adding provisions across the board. We'll be going over those incredible checks in this fourth stimulus recon, but we'll be turning to third stimulus that's available for money right now. You don't have to wait for this money. This money is available to pay your bills this week. We have the latest details on that. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest offer from the president. We'll be touching on that detail. COLA raise, your benefits going up under fifth stimulus. That's in January. And then the big money. People are wondering, how much can I get for my frames? It's frame wars. Those details on the latest update on the frame wars battles. And this, my friends, is Early Mornings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. 2,000-3,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Mornings Countdown at 7 a.m. Then we got Mornings LA live on air at 9 a.m. So hit that subscribe button, like the video, and consider becoming a member. In this recording, we have a lot to go over. I'm going to go over the incredible recon that'll pay you about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters. It's fourth stimulus. We'll go broadly over fourth stimulus. Then we'll come back over to what's happening now that we're going to the Senate, what the Senate is going to add in there. We're going to go over also each check one at a time so you see the big money you can get under this fourth stimulus. And then we're going to take a step back to third stimulus because third stimulus is available to pay your bills right now. And then we'll look at fifth stimulus and student loan debt forgiveness. And here we go. Fourth stimulus, the House of Representatives passed your fourth stimulus recon this week. And that fourth stimulus recon has a lot of checks in there, multiple checks in there, that'll pay you on average about $15,000. It's huge. And those clusters of checks are 3 with 2 add-ons. Here we go. Hazard pay, they got in that earned income tax credit for my essential workers. $4,000 of elder care, they got it in there. Then $4,000 for care for the young children. They got the Pell Grant, $850 checks in there. They got the CTC, child tax credit for 1 more year, $3,600. They got it in there. And then they got the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. Finally, they got the $12,500 for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle. Next is the first add-on. The first add-on is free money to go buy a house. Excuse me? Did you misstate that? No, I didn't misstate that. Free money for the purchase price of your first home. It comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters. She got the provision in there. She wanted $25,000. It's going to be a little bit less, but she got it in there. And yes, that is free money for the purchase price of your first home. How do you get it? It's coming up later in this video. Stay with me. Get that pen and paper ready. Cluster number 2, they got got in there home repairs, paid leave. In that second cluster, they got in there paid leave, household tax credit, pre-kindergarten, and also home repairs. Those home repairs definitely need them. You know, there's always a family member who shows up during the holidays that won't stop talking and just keeps on talking and talking and talking. It's like, can we eat? You know, it's Thanksgiving. I'd like to eat. And just will not stop talking. So if that family member is Kevin McCarthy, keep the house weatherized. There we go. Let's go to the first add-on, the second cluster of checks, and they are deliciousness. And those second clusters of checks we just went over. No, the second add-on, which is the home healthcare, $250 billion. And that's from Bob Casey. He wanted that price point. He got a little bit less. Free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. Wow. Let's go to the third cluster of checks, and this is deliciousness. They got a lot of checks in this third cluster. Here we go. They got in there the free school meals for all, tax breaks checks, cheaper communication, immigration reform, farmers, clean energy out, and then workers and Medicare expansion. In that Medicare expansion, under the House bill, they got 2 provisions in there. The senators are saying they're going to add 3 more. So far in on the House bill is the Medicaid gap states and the hearing. On the Senate side, they've had to add 3 other provisions, dropping the Medicare eligibility age, dental, and vision, which tees us up for our third add-on. And the third add-on is multiple IRS stimulus check, or MSE. The legislators, the senators, have represented to thousands of viewers this channel, 6 of them, these senators. 6 senators have represented thousands of viewers this channel over the last few weeks that they are inserting that MSE provision in there. And this week, 3 of them repeated it again to viewers this channel. Viewers this channel who went and advocated with 3 different senators were told once again that they're going to put at least 1 or more stimulus checks in this recon on the Senate side. The last time that the senators talked about those provisions, they said the following: $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months, and there you go. They wanted the same eligibility, they said, as third stimulus. Third stimulus eligibility was the following: $75,000 or less, single individual, you get it. Married couple, $150,000, you get it. Double it. Family of 4, you get it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, you get it. The third stimulus check was a waivable check, but they do not envision the fourth stimulus check will be a waivable check. So if you're at the beach and you see the check, oh my God, I haven't seen you in months, waivable check. Do not wave at the check because it's not a waivable check. Hey, check, how are you? Oh, didn't wave back. Rude check. Still rude. It's been months since I've seen you. It's still rude. No, it's just not a waivable check. There we go. The legislators represent, they're going to put it in there, and their names: the 2 C's, the 2 S's, and the 2 W's. Casey Coons, Warren Wyden, Sanders Schumer. You need to pick up the phone and advocate with them. Pick up the phone and advocate, because here we go. We're in the Senate. This is their ballpark. This is their game. And they want to hear from you. They've been saying, keep on calling me because I want to hear you. Now we got the bill. Now it's our turn to add stuff in there. They now have in total between congressional senators' office received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures of the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through during this pandemic. They have heartbreaking stories, and they have the voice of the people in you, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Very, very kind. The last sentence: please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as the professional voice of the people you have become. Very, very kind. What do you got to do? You got to pick up the phone. You got to give yourself some time each week to call the 2 C's, the 2 S's, and the 2 W's, but also to give you some time to get third stimulus. Why? You don't want to wait around or sit around or look around for fourth stimulus to land to pay your bills. Why? Because third stimulus is paying your bills right now. And it's been paying people's bills in the channel for several months and is still paying bills. The average payment that viewers are getting $45,000 of checks in third stimulus. How do you get this money? It's coming up in the second half of this video. I will show you how to get your bills paid this week, as thousands of viewers this week got $100 or $1,000 bills paid because I brought third stimulus back in the recording. And later in the second half of this video, I go over how to get these bills paid under third stimulus right now. We're going to go over the passage of that fourth stimulus recon this week in the House. And what are these changes the senators are going to change? We're going to go over the base House bill, which is laying in the Senate, that pays you about $15,000 of checks. What are those checks? How you qualify for them and what they are. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. And then we'll be turning to the exciting details of this stimulus and that big COLA raise. You want that fifth stimulus coming in January. Finally, frame wars. A lot of surprises across the board. It's a big, bold, beautiful morning. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and the coffee's brewing. Oh, and there's some bacon. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now and the second half of this early morning's LA broadcast as the recon passes the House of Representatives. Off to the Senate we go. The senators are adding more provisions in this incredible recon. What will be those provisions? I will lay his details this morning direct from Santa Monica, California. So far, this recon will have $15,000 of checks in this incredible recon for you. As the surface stimulus is coming on in, look at that surf. My goodness. That is huge, and that really is Santa Monica, California in that video. Then we go to those $45,000 of checks you can get under the third stimulus. No time to wait around to pay those bills. Those bills can be paid right now. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness. That is available with a big offer for the president. Will the Democrats take it? Then fifth stimulus heating up next year. This is what you need, that lift of your benefits if you're on SSI and Social Security Administration. Then we'll be turning to frame wars, as Americans do not see eye to eye, but do they see the same on frames? Then we got a special message from Sirloin and a big surprise from him across the board. It's a big, bold, beautiful morning. I'm excited you're here, and this, my friends, is Early Mornings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Mornings Countdown. Then the big Mornings LA live on air at 9 a.m. I want you part of this incredible family. So hit that subscribe button, like the video, and consider becoming a member. And here we go with the second half. The Senate now has your big recon, and that recon is going to grow. Why? Because the senators have been saying that for weeks. On Friday, everything that I had told you was going to happen for this recon happened. Let's back up because it's very important to understand what happened. The moderate Democrats and the progressive Democrats had agreed over a week ago to pass the recon, and on Friday they did. The recon has a lot of items in there, but the senators are going to add changes to those provisions. Those provisions at the moment have about $15,000 across multiple checks. And what are those multiple checks? We're going to go over all the details starting right now. Get your pen and paper ready, starting with the first check. Paid leave got in there, and paid leave is a lot of money. How much is it? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year, $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year, $400 a week if you make $15,000 more per year. How many weeks? 4 weeks a year, max. Whoa, that's a lot of money. That's $5,000 to $6,000. And who gets it? Everyone. All income qualifications, W-2 or 1099. Wow. So what is this? This is if you have to stay home from work because of death or illness, not COVID related, or birth of a child. So if you don't work, but you live with someone who does and they're taking care of you, they're going to get the check for the household. Case in point, you're retired. You live with your son. They work. He works. He takes off from work every week that he has to take you to the doctor. Well, every time he has to take you to the doctor, now he'll get paid for those trips to the doctor. Yes, that's incredible. And it's massive sums of money. So the second wonderful benefit that got in there is SALT. Under the 2017 Trump reform of the tax code, you can only deduct $10,000 on your federal tax return of what you pay in state taxes. Now you'll be able to deduct $72,500 of what you pay on your state taxes on the federal tax return. Next wonderful provision that got in there is job training, $40 billion of free job training for you. Medicaid gap fix got in there. This is big, and this is for my viewers who asked me about cheaper insurance or insurance. This was the 12 Republican states where he refused to pay for Obamacare. Now the workaround plan will provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states. And finally, one of the best provisions of this recon so far, as we're going through the list, is the housing assistance. It is rent, utility, mortgage assistance, and then home repairs, weatherizing your home, and first purchase home price money. Well, if those first few items sound familiar, they should, because they were in third stimulus. And the only difference is third stimulus is law. Fourth stimulus is pending law. So you don't have to wait around for this money. You can get it right today for third stimulus. What's going on? If you have bills, you get the bills paid under third stimulus, which is already law. Don't wait for fourth stimulus. What are those bills? Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, SNAP, money for clothing of homeless people into shelters, even small appliances and maybe nominal repairs like a broken window with the nonprofits. And how do you get it? I'm going to go over the details right now, so get that pen and paper ready. First, broad stroke. You qualify for this. Let's make this clear. You qualify for this. Single or married, young or old, disabled or not disabled, red state, blue state, ahead on your bills, behind your bills. You qualify for the money. All you have to have is a pen, paper, and a telephone to pick up the phone and call and get that money. And let's go over the details of it, starting first with rent. The rent money has gone up a lot, and it was $20,000 to $30,000 just a few weeks ago. Now it's at upwards of $40,000. Let's look at the graphic right off the board. This was the graphic from about 3 months ago, and the graphic looked like this. Wow. Yes, 20 to 30,000. Guess what? We're now approaching $40,000. Why has it grown so much? Several reasons. One, viewers have gotten more sophisticated. Two, there's more money for rent. Three, I've been telling more people to apply in multiple places. So where do you apply? If you're a member of this channel, you have it in the membership newsletter daily. But if you're not, get that pen and paper ready. Here we go. You reach out to the 6 places. They are City Hall, City House Authority, County Hall, County House Authority, State Hall, State House Authority. And what are the keywords? Also in the newsletter, you want to say the keywords of rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage utility assistance because of COVID, and there you go. Now, some of the items you need to remember are the following. One, you must, M-U-S-T, reach out to all 6. Do not reach out to one and call it a day if they say no, because they each have different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the other ones. Next, they have their own pot of money. Number 3, you can apply in as many places as you want. So do not apply in one place and say, I haven't heard back from them. No, apply in 20 places. Finally, you can get money, multiple rounds of this money from the same place, and you can also apply for rent at different places at the same time. So I have countless viewers who've gotten 2-3 rounds of rent, and I have people who've gotten rent from 2 different places at the same time. Mortgage assistance, you do the same thing. Let's turn to utilities. Here we go. 3 months ago, this was the graphic. Then about a month ago, the graphic was $15,000 for Mark's brother-in-law. Now the numbers are going even higher. Why? Heating oil is going up. Consumer Price Index says it's going up 49.1% year to date, and that's just a start. So get this money. Again, if you are not tech savvy, you can do this because there's no technology involved. All is involved is a telephone. You just pick up the phone and call your utility company. If you call them to report a leak or a gas smell or a power outage, you can pick up the phone and call the same number and say, hey, utility assistance because of COVID. You can do this. I know it. Then get food for SNAP. What is SNAP? Food. Get the food. Why would you not get it? SNAP eligibility is like a third stimulus check. Very simple. If you qualify for stimulus check, you likely qualify for SNAP. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them. And this was the graphic 3 months ago, but guess what? SNAP benefits going up 25% lifetime starting last month in the month of October, and Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year from this channel. That is $250,000 over 10 years. Next, get combo items. Get as many different items as possible. A lot of viewers got items this week. So excited. Dozens and dozens and dozens, hundreds, if not thousands of viewers have gotten monies this week. I've gotten tons of messages. Just so proud of you. But don't stop at one item. Here's Mark. He got 2 items, 32,000. Nisi, 3 items, 23,000. Nancy, 3 items, 32,000. Well, don't stop at 2 items, Mark, I said to him at the time, 3 months ago, and he did it. He went back and got his 3rd item, bringing him from 32,000 to 50,000. And then Mark went back and got more items, bringing himself to 50,000 to 100,000. He's not alone. Countless viewers of this channel have gotten over 100,000 and have gotten even higher. Here's Lorraine. She was at 105. She's now at 120, which tees up my story, which is very important to hear about Johnny and third stimulus. Johnny was one of 3 viewers who started a particular week with this channel watching and started 0. But by Wednesday, all 3 of them did not know each other, but all 3 of them got 45,000 from 3 programs. Pretty good, pretty good. But by the weekend, Johnny did something better. He kept on calling every single day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And by the weekend, he got 7 programs approving him. Whoa. Now, why do I like this story? Because he called about 15 places. You can't call 7 places and expect 7 yeses. He had to have gotten maybe 50% approval rating. So he made the 15 phone calls. I really love this story because of the effort he put in there. Now, of course, how much did he get? $80,000 in 5 days. Yeah, just really wonderful. Second part of the story I really like as well. But Johnny started the following Monday by telling his family members, hey, I got $80,000 last week. From where? This kid on YouTube called LALATE. Oh, wow. So how did you do that? Third stimulus, he said. Third stimulus? The family member said. What third stimulus? There was only a $1,400 third stimulus check that landed in my bank account under third stimulus. There's no other money under third stimulus except that check that landed in my bank account. He said, no, there is other money in third stimulus. Well, how come I never heard about it? I watch the local news, read the print media, I watch the cable news channel every day. They never talk about it. Why would LA talk about it? Because he does. And that was the difference. And by the end of the week, those 2 non-believer family members got $50,000 each. What Johnny says is absolutely right. Which is important to understand is that since first stimulus, broadcast media, print media, other YouTube channels do not care, categorically do not care to try to get you the money in these recons. Most of the time, they don't even tell you what the money is in the recons. Did not happen any better in second stimulus, and on the third stimulus, it was atrocious. In the case of other YouTube channels, all they do is just hold up a script and say, hey, Nancy said this and Joe Manchin said that. See you tomorrow. What is that? They're not helping anyone. They're just reading a script. I've been reading over how to get you items for this recon since day one, and that is the difference here. You've learned, viewers have learned, volunteers have helped you. And the important understanding is that when fourth stimulus becomes law, it's going to be no different. It was no different yesterday. Broadcast media announcing the recon had passed the House barely even said what was even in the recon. Sometimes put up a little graphic with a few words. Oh, Lord, that is not much at all. So now let's turn back into fourth stimulus and where we left off at the housing aid. The housing aid, yes, $150 billion of it. And that housing aid is a lot of other items. The first one is the first-time home purchase, and then the weatherizing your home. Both of those are not income-level items, so we do not believe they'll be income-level items. The home repairs will be for a low-income community. A grant. You'll apply for it, and you'll get it. Remember, not law yet. These 3 provisions are not law yet. Then we go to that in-home health care. Wow, that in-home healthcare is really good across the board. That in-home healthcare has the $150 billion for seniors and also for people on disabilities. Then we go to the tuition aid, $550 checks for students, college students on the Pell Grant. Wonderful. Then we go to the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. This one is very problematic. And for the first time on Early Mornings LA, I'm really revealing that I just see a real problem with this provision. 1, I see a problem with the number of cars. Number 2, I don't think it's lawful. First, number of cars. As of just a few weeks ago, there was only 1 car that qualified for this. $12,500 for an electric vehicle made by a U.S. auto manufacturer in a U.S. plant. Only the Chevy Volt a few weeks ago. Now, why do I think it's unlawful? Because I think it violates the U.S. trade policies with Mexico and Canada. Why? Because while this provision may also soon qualify for the Ford Lightning and the Hummer, which is $120,000. I mean, really? And the Lyric by Cadillac, which are all going to be made in U.S. auto manufacturing plants. You may turn to me and say, wait a second, are you saying there's only 3 cars? And I'm saying, yeah, because there's a provision here that doesn't make sense in U.S. soil. What the world is the problem with the Mexico plant? U.S. auto manufacturers, Ford, Chrysler, and GM, have U.S. workers who are unionized, which is Joe Biden's fascination, unionized, working in Mexico and Canadian plants. Why not provide the same credit for those cars? And that's a lot more cars. Like, for example, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is a Mustang SUV, fully electric. It's no different than the Lyric. It's electric. It's U.S. auto manufactured and it's unionized. The only difference is made in the Mexico plant. Who cares where it's made? It's still U.S. workers. So he doesn't want to offer that benefit there to that car. If you buy that car versus the Lyric, it looks like a violation of the U.S. trade policies between Mexico and Canada and the United States. I don't think it's to survive. I think it's a big problem with a capital T. A problem with a capital P. There we go. Child nutrition, $65 per month in there when the kid's not in school, which brings us to the best provision of this entire recon. And it is that big slashing the prices for medication. Medication has been expensive, and now they are done with that. The wonderful provision has in there, day one, when this becomes law, 20 medications will be slashed dramatically. These are the most expensive medications. This is diabetes, cancer, and arthritis. For example, an insulin dose will drop from $1,000 to $35 overnight. This is the most expensive medication on Medicare Part B and Medicare Part D, and it'll grow to 30 medications by 2028. They cannot increase more than the rate of inflation, or if Big Pharma does it, there will be a fine. There's a fine in the recon. But can there be a fine in the recon? No, says Pat Toomey, the Republican senator. And he says the Senate parliamentarian will remove it when she reviews the recon next week. Pat Toomey is usually right about stuff like this. He's very detailed. He's not out there like Kevin McCarthy. He's very detailed. And when he's right about something, that sounds like it may come out. There's a provision in this recon that has immigration reform. That is likely to come out because the Senate parliamentarians previously ruled it violates the rules of the Senate. And then paid leave, I don't know, 50-50 on that one. So when we land in the Senate, we're going to see a lot more checks than just what's on the graphic. Notice this graphic. It says $15,000. Well, all the programs that paid you on average $45,000 in the third stimulus are repeated under fourth stimulus. So those checks are coming back. And then the senators are adding other checks on top of that. Senators aren't removing anything, at least the Democrats aren't. So that means that the recon will potentially be upwards of $50,000, $60,000 of checks in there for you. But I'm being conservative across the board to start. And Bernie Sanders, he said the same thing he said 3 weeks ago. Once that recon passed the House, he says, a good bill, but we're going to add a lot of stuff in there. And so says Ron Wyden, Chris Coons, Chuck Schumer, and also Stable now, and also Senator Murphy of Connecticut. All right, get that pen and paper ready because it's time to get some more checks. Here we go. There are those delicious checks. Universal pre-kindergarten, front end, 1 year. Childcare, back end. CTC, front end, $3,600 approximately. Earned income tax credit, essential workers, back end, 1 year. Home health care, covered benefits. Then a hearing aid. Yes, that's likely a check. We went over the housing. We went over the Pell Grant, $550, and we went over the $65 per month. So what other check or checks would Bernie get in there, or those senators? In addition to pushing that MSC, multiple IRS stimulus check in there, Bernie wants to put in there dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. So let's go over the last one. Lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Well, that's currently 65. Bernie wants it to 55. I think that's a stretch. Bob Casey wants it 50. I think that's possible. Then Bernie wants to get in there dental. He wants full dental 10 years. I don't think that's happening. He then defaulted to 3 years full dental. I think that's possible. The last offer was an $850 check. It was in there and then they removed it. I don't think that's sufficient. No, does Bernie. It's more than a cleaning, but not enough for any simple procedure. So I don't think $850 checks work for dental. Which brings us finally to vision. Bernie wants an eye exam and a pair of frames per year. Pretty simple, I said. Eye exam and a pair of frames per year. Why is that difficult? And, I examine Costco, $50. And a pair of frames, $100. I mean, it's pretty simple. What else would you need than $150 check per year? Oh, no, you need a lot more because it's frame wars. It's frame wars. Very heated conversations in all the live chats where people say, oh, no, I need a lot more. And in yesterday's update episode of Frame Wars, some person sent me a private message on on Facebook and said, I have 2 frames, so I need 2 frames. One is sunglasses, and one is a normal frames. Oh, okay, I guess sunglasses is a priority. And they're both 14 karat. Oh, I don't think that's a priority. Do you mean carat like the vegetable, or do you mean carat like the gold, like the mansion Maserati color? Yeah, Medicare is not buying you 14 karat anything. They're not buying you 14. I mean, maybe 14 cents, maybe $14, not even $14 ice cream. They're just not buying anything $14. Now, we've seen everything impossible. You could see on this channel. In episode one viewer said I have to have $450 frames because that's what my dollar pays for me. Then in episode 2, we had one viewer saying, oh, this is not sufficient, LA. I have to have trifold glasses and special prescription and a special coloring and a special lighting. That's over $1,000. In episode 3, one viewer said, my optometrist, he's so kind to me, really takes good care of me, and then sends me the bill. It's $2,000. That's why he takes really good care of you. So what do you think about the frame wars? Where do you think the price point is? Do you think you're entitled to sunglasses and a pair of frames? I don't know. Let's see what everyone else is doing when they hear the word frame wars. And that is frame wars. If you have an opinion about how much frames should be in the Force Simmons Recon, what should Bernie put in there? Bernie, put in reoccurring sunglasses, a new pair of frames every month. Whatever you think it is, whether it's crazy or ridiculous or logical, send to me in private messages. I'm not being able to figure out which of these are true and which of these are false so far. So you've really stumped me, because some people really are very adamant about their $1,000 frames. And then other people very adamant about their 14 karat frames. There we go. Send me your private message or post me on social media, and I'll feature potentially your frame on camera. Let's turn to some student loan debt forgiveness. More student loan debt forgiveness could be happening across the board, and that student loan debt forgiveness is $10,000. The Democrats have an offer from the president. They should take it. He wants to offer $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness by executive order. Wow, that would be quick and easy. He previously forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled, people who went to work in the nonprofit sector, and people who went to work in the public sector after graduation. Finally, fifth stimulus. Very important fifth stimulus. It is, because guess what? Your benefits are going up next year, January 1. 5.9%. Congratulations if you're on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI. But that's not enough. It's because of COLA. COLA's been behind the 8 ball, and your benefits have been devalued before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and now after the pandemic. So they want to step in and raise your benefits up one big time to get you caught up. Makes sense. Then they want to have a new benchmark every December. It would be inflation. And as inflation goes up, your benefits go up. Inflation is going to be 3% next December. I've been reporting, so has the Federal Reserve. And then the year after that, 2 to 3%. So that would mean you continually have those step ups across the board. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Become a member. The link is under the video, and get that membership newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, which is also free, by the way. It features all the details of what's covered in this video and more. It features the 6 places to reach out to for the rent, the 5 nonprofits to reach out to, which include other items like small appliances and also homeless people in the shelters, holiday meals, clothing. It features the keywords you say when you call up for the rent or utilities. It features the Treasury statement about the rent you should read before making the phone call. And it features all those big sums of money across the board. People who have gotten the big sums of money from this channel, whether it's Johnny or Mark or Lorraine or or Art Sullivan or Nisi have learned from the videos and have made the phone calls. You can make those phone calls as well. I'm very confident within you and your abilities across the board. And with that, let me go into my final commentary as we go into a big morning and big early mornings broadcast. Very exciting week ahead of us. Why? Because in this week ahead of us, we're going to see how quickly we start to get some sense of where senators want to add stuff across the board. You want to come in really strong as advocates, because as you come in strong, they now have the recon in their hands, the senators. It's important to understand that it's great positioning at the moment. You have a framework of a recon passing the House, but the senators who are Democrats are not removing anything. They're adding stuff in there. It's sort of like we've built the kitchen. Now we're bringing in the pots and pans and making some meals. Senators want to add a lot of provisions in there, and they're great provisions, and they have no problem adding more provisions for you. Senators, remember, are the people who started this process starting big. And somewhere during the duration, things went sort of this and sort of that way. What's important to understand is that Nancy showed us during the House that it was sort of a strange dichotomy. And yet, everything I had predicted to you happened. When we started this entire process, I told you it was this two-step process: recon procedural, recon substantive. And I told you recon procedural would pass. It did. It went to the House, it went to the Senate, $3.5 trillion. Then I told you recon substantive would involve 6 steps, and it has. I told you we would start in the subcommittee of the House with them writing the legislation. You have to understand, no broadcast media ever said this. No one ever said that the House subcommittee would be writing the legislation. As the lead author was some insight from the senators. I did. And that's what happened. No one said that the House subcommittee would be voting on the legislation before anyone else. I did, and that's what happened when Sheila Jackson called that vote several weeks ago on a Saturday night, $3.5 trillion recon passing. And then I said, you know what? Most people are talking about the vote starting on the Senate side. I don't think so. I think it's going to start on the House side because it's their bill. Nancy's going to call it first. And she had always said, I want to see the Senate vote on it. I said, I don't believe it. I believe Nancy's going to call the vote first on the recon on the House side. And she did. And we are done. But what's fascinating is that several weeks ago, we saw the first comments coming out of Bernie Sanders on that hallway outside the chambers of his offices, saying I have a lot of stuff to add to it. And that has always been sort of the approach that we've had. Good bill, but there's a lot of stuff missing. A lot of stuff missing, and they're going to push to add those things across the board. And that's why your advocacy is very important. But I'm also very proud of you, because in the last week, we've seen so many of you get so much money. Third stimulus was not even on this channel before a week ago today. And I said, I see there's an issue. People are asking for fourth stimulus to pay their bills. No, fourth stimulus is not a law. Third stimulus is law, and it can pay your bills. And boy, have you responded well. You respond really well to information. You respond really well to applying the information. And you really respond well with understanding this is where the thing is, go get the thing. You learn quickly. You always have since day one of this channel. If you have rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, any sort of homeowner assistance, SNAP food, and some of those nonprofit items like small appliances. If you need assistance with any of those things, get the money right now. It's third stimulus. There's a lot of that. And that third stimulus, it could potentially still be around this money all the way into early next year. When fourth stimulus becomes law, you're going to get that money. And there's so much more money under fourth stimulus than even third stimulus. That's going to carry us all throughout 2022. I'm going to be here step by step along with you to show you how to get money. That's what I'm here for, to get you money. We're not here to track checks. We're here to cash checks. And as many checks as you can cash in a given week, you can. Most especially, I'm very impressed by viewers who took my information over the last week or last few weeks and took it even better than how I can deliver it. For example, Lorica, who I feature on this channel a lot, she got wood. Wood? What do you mean wood? She got wood. Now, her utilities are, the way she operates her home is she has a gas burning stove. Wood burning stove. That's why it's, yeah, I just messed it up. It's not gas burning stove, it's a wood burning stove, which heats the home. And also she cooks on it. So she got wood for the stove, for the home, all the way to the end of 2022. I mean, that's enormous. There's no lumber shortage on this channel. There is no lumber shortage. And that is what you do. We've had viewers over the last few days get their past due medication bills paid by the nonprofits as well. Meantime, things just surprise me. Do they surprise you? I mean, I was very surprised when I got word that someone that owns a YouTube channel, someone with a YouTube channel, had sent cows to the beach here in Santa Monica, California, to promote the return of a personality to the channel. I mean, who would bring cows to the beach in Santa Monica to promote the return of a personality and his cryptocurrency, apparently called Loincoin or Cow-coin? What is this? And there you go. Join me on Crypto currently playing on the channel. We'll see which coins are going to the moon this weekend, and it may certainly be Decentraland. Join me next with Morning's Countdown live on set at 7 a.m. and then Morning's LALATE live on air at 9 a.m. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, and what you're part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.